After years of ignored claims, organ trafficking in Kosovo has finally reached prosecutors. At least 7 people have been charged, suspected of luring poor people to sell their kidneys with false promises of cash. One of the suspects is being linked to the Kosovo Liberation Army, which was accused of selling the organs of captured Serbs during the 1990s war. RT's Sarah Firth explains.
Gruesome tale emerging here in Kosovo at the moment. An organised crime group, including a former health minister, involved in organ trafficking. Now, the story starts a couple of years ago when the doctors working for the private health clinic Medicus that you can see behind me were investigated for allegedly performing these illegal organ transfer operations. Now, the group was said to have targeted poor people from regions such as Russia, Kazakhstan and Romania, and offering them around $20,000 to come here and have these operations performed, with the recipients as well being charged a huge amount of money. Now, the case was taken over by EULEX, the EU police mission working here in Kosovo, and they brought these indictments for 7 people. Now, the prosecution haven't actually made those public, but we've been able to gain access to one of the documents and seen what the indictment said. Now, one person named in the indictment also has links to another shocking case involving organ trafficking. Now, in that instance, it was alleged that around 300 Serbian war prisoners during the Kosovan War were kept in a house in northern Albania by the Kosovo Liberation Army and were killed and their organs used for trafficking. Now, the details of that case came to light when the former chief prosecutor of the War Crimes Tribunal, Khaled de Ponte, released a book detailing some of this information. Now, whilst it was covered by the media at the time in the notorious Yellow House incident, now the details of that case were particularly gruesome. There were allegations of people having organs removed and then being kept alive until their other organs were needed and then being killed. And although the case did attain media attention, there was heavy criticism that it was never fully investigated properly and that there were many people who were trying to block that and the story coming to light. And with this latest case, there really are growing concerns that Kosovo could become a breeding ground for these types of crimes. Indeed, commentators saying that there are many people, including possibly authorities, who are profiting heavily from this type of crime.
Sarah Firth, our correspondent. Let's get reaction now from Serbian political analyst Misha Gavrilic. Is in London for us tonight. Mr. Gavrilic, thanks for being on the programme. Details of organ trafficking in Kosovo have been around for a while, haven't they? Why do you think we're only seeing these charges being brought to light now?
Well, if only a part of these allegations are true, this is a monstrous crime. I need to stress, however, that such crimes have never occurred when this was sovereign Yugoslav territory and part of Serbia proper. This has all occurred after the United States and NATO have bombed themselves into Kosovo, occupied the country, and insisted on the withdrawal not just of the then Yugoslav army, but also on the withdrawal of the police force. If you withdraw your police force from any area, anywhere in the world, then lawlessness will result. And we have had lawlessness not just in this organ trafficking, but in many other areas. Drug trafficking, most of the Serbian Orthodox churches have been destroyed meanwhile, and all this under the supervision of NATO. So whilst we are mentioning now some Kosovo-Albanian participation there, which is certainly true, it is the occupying power that has to actually carry the heaviest responsibility.
Okay, I mean, that's a good insight into the history there, Mr. Gavrilic, but I take it back to the question, why do you think these charges are coming out now? What's instigated it?
Well, at the time, I should say this was already 1999, in the same year as the bombing took place. There have been many well-documented cases of people not being killed. This is mainly Serbs, but also some Kosovo Albanians that were loyal to the Yugoslav state. They were kidnapped. They simply disappeared, and there was no trace of them subsequently found. So some of those allegations resulted of the failure to respond to that. But one of the main reasons why such things will not have happened, of course, is because NATO and the countries participating in the occupation of Kosovo have to basically cover their own backs. And it is a very serious issue here with the European Union, which has been calling around for the recognition of Kosovo, a lawless state, to the countries that have not yet recognized it. So I think they also wanted to have this covered up. But now it is effectively an EU legal force of about 2,000 people who have come out with these allegations. I hope this is not going to be a whitewash.
Kosovo has a long history, doesn't it, of being linked to organ trafficking. Why is that?
Because of lawlessness. Organ trafficking unfortunately exists in other parts of the world, but the people who want it, it's basically a big business, of course. The people who do it don't do it on an ethnic basis, but do it because there is a lot of money in it. And the opportunity to set it up in a lawless environment, which has been existing in Kosovo for pretty much the last 10 years, is of course something that they would welcome, and I think that would be the main reason.
One of those indicted is a senior health official in Kosovo. How worrying is it that the suspicion falls at such a high government level?
Well, this is money, obviously, is attracting people in various positions of authority and power. So it would not surprise me as such, because this has occurred in certain other situations. But it is very worrying about the status of the Kosovo province, of course, and what other countries that have not as yet recognized Kosovo and how they're going to react to this. But obviously this is not a sovereign country that can properly be recognized by anyone until this whole situation is resolved and law and order brought into Kosovo.
Political analyst Misha Gavrilovic joining us online from London tonight. Thanks for your thoughts here on RT.